Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Testing.
Testing. Testing. Testing.
Okay, now talking to it because I want to get your levels
Testing.
up here.
Testing. 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 Testing.
Okay. Good morning, friends. Welcome to Go Long, a show that includes thought-provoking, faith-based interviews with area coaches, players, and sports figures. A show that will truly connect us. Good morning. I'm Wayne McCullough. With me is Becky B.
Good morning.
You know, it's a red hot downtown Ollie Brown. This is the number one faith-based sports radio show brought to you by Sports Radio, WOYK 98.9 FM, 1350 AM, First in York and First in Sports, and our friends Kelsey Jean and Kylie Jane at Red Barn Home Decors, where home staging makes dollars and cents. Friends, throughout the show, you may send your prayer requests. Text them to 717-350-8591. Becky B, we've got a dandy today. We're going to go long after our scoreboard show, and then we have live interviews with the splendid Spartan himself, Scott Geis. First of all, we're going to get a York College update, and the men had a tremendous win yesterday down in Chester against Widener. We'll talk a little bit about that and talk to Scott Geis. That's going to enable them to get into the MAC Commonwealth Championship Tournament, which begins already this week. So congratulations to the York men. We'll chat with the splendid Spartan himself, Scott Geis. And the York High girls basketball head coach, Coach Kevin Clover. What a job Coach has done.
He's turned that program around.
Absolutely. And, they're going to be entering into the PIAA District 3 6A girls basketball bracket. That tips off already tomorrow night. So we're going to talk live with head coach Kevin Glover, the York High Bearcats. What a great job he has done. So welcome to Go Long. We're glad you spend this hour with us. Our mission is really to connect us. We have a wonderful community here in the York, Adams, Central Pennsylvania area. We're happy that you can spend an hour with us Sunday morning. There's there's just stuff that goes on throughout this world. And for this next hour, we're going to celebrate the accomplishments of our local athletes, our local coaches, everyone involved in sports. And we're going to have a chance to talk about your Christian faith also on this Sunday morning. So thank you for being with us. You wanted it, you asked for it, and you got it. We're back with the WOYK scoreboard. Thursday, York Adams boys basketball for all the marbles. The Panthers of Central York win by a score of 85-71 over the York High Bearcats. And just in case you're keeping score at home, this was the third time this season that Central got the best of York.
For Central, 6'7" Greg Greiniger and 6'8" Big Ben Rill and Ben Nattel each pocketed a 20 spot, the three of them pouring in 60 of Central's 85 points. Jules Tucker led York and everyone else with 26, while Davion Leiter booked 22.
Central just outscored York in the final 8 minutes of play as they netted, check this out, 33 points in the final 8 minutes of play. That's incredible, isn't it?
When the going gets tough, the tough get going.
I guess.
In the girls' York Adams roundball final, the Dallastown Wildcats, with an offensive rebound and a kick-out to the three-point line at Maggie Grau, knocked down a tray at the buzzer to lead the Wildcats to a 36-33 win over the Central York Panthers. Talk about a nail-biter there.
Yeah, and I always tell people, games aren't won with the last-second shot. They're usually won with a last-second rebound and either a putback or a kick-out. And I know Coach Rexroth told those ladies in that before that final possession, guys, it's going to be the rebound that wins this game, and they did. They rebounded, kick it out, and Maggie Crow knocked it down as she towed the three-point line, going downtown Ollie Brown, Maggie Crow. The other thing is, you might say it was just good old-fashioned defense that led the Wildcats to this win. They held a high, potent Central York offense to just 2 points in the final 8 minutes of play.
That's crazy,
yep,
isn't
it?
It
Is.
Wow. Senior Mackenzie Wright Rawls led Central with 11, while Praise Matthews led the Wildcats and all scores with an even dozen.
Alrighty, in the York Adams news, I think this is important. Coach Ron Miller will return as head football coach for the Dogtown Boys of West York. He is approved by the West York School Board this week. Coach Miller, I'm telling you, he is a good man and he's a good football coach. During his first run at West York, Coach Miller won 7 division championships and a district title, all with a record of 86-25. Welcome back, Coach Miller. Congratulations, and we look forward to chatting with you here in the near future. Good man.
Saturday was a banner day for local wrestlers as the individual postseason kicked off in earnest with 6 sectional tournaments, 2 in Class 2A and 4 in Class 3A.
Alrighty. Central York, they win over Spring Grove in the Class 3A Section 4 championships. You ready for this score? 181.5 to 180.
That's tight.
That's great. All right. So individual champions from the York Adams League, Tyler Adams, a suburbanite from York Suburban. He's a junior. He wins at 127 pounds. Tig Conover, a Papertown boy, wins at 215 pounds. He had 3 straight pins to get to that championship. Congratulations. That's a growing 215-pound match also. Carter Davis from Central York. He's also a junior, wins at 152 pounds. It's his second sectional championship. Wyatt Dillon, another Panther of Central York. He's a junior. He wins at 145 pounds in the 3A Section 4. And then Michael Hershey, another Papertown boy, he's a junior also. He wins at the 285-pound championship. That's the big boys right there on the mat. Elijah Hewitt, a Bobcat of Northeastern. He's only a sophomore. He won his second straight. Imagine he won that thing as a freshman. Wow. And now as a sophomore in 121 pounds. Elias Long, a Central York Panther, a junior, wins 139 pounds. Give me some bacon Myers of Central York, 172 pounds sectional championship. Tanner Rock, how about that? That's the name of a wrestler.
That
Tanner
is a
Rock.
wrestler's name.
He's a Smallsville boy, the Littlestown Thunderbolts wins.
But he's not a small boy.
No, wins at 172 pounds in the Section 2, in the Class 2A, Section 1. And then Levi Snyder, a Papertown boy, he's a senior. He won his second sectional championship at 133 pounds. I know you have a connection there with Levi. What a good young man.
Well, we interviewed him earlier this year.
Yep, a good young man. And then Cole Staker, Eastern York, a golden boy, wins at 189 pounds. They are the local champions in district championship. Alrighty, here, real quick, the men, I talked a little bit about it later. We'll hear from the Splendid Spartan Scott Geis in just a little bit, but congratulations again to the York College men's basketball team as they punched their ticket to the MAC Commonwealth Playoff Tournament with a hard-fought 78-64 win down at Widener University yesterday in Chester. You know, you go down there, we've been to many games down there.
That's a tough place
It
to
is.
win when you're on the road.
Absolutely. So congratulations to the Spartans. And check this out. After starting their season with a 1-6 league record in the Commonwealth, which is an outstanding division, this young York College team, and they are young, they kept competing and ended up league play 8 wins, 8 losses. Isn't that incredible?
You know, that's the result of some good coaching and some good learning by those young men on the team. You want your team to do their best at the end of the season as they're hitting playoffs, and these guys are just hitting their stride right now.
Yep, absolutely. So congratulations. We'll talk with the Splendid Spartan in just a little bit. All right, Becky B., let's go long. Today from the 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verses 12 through 18. Typically we have a little bit shorter Bible verse, but today let's listen to this whole thing and then think as we read from the New International Version of our Bible. Let's think how this applies to, you know, the athletics that we love on a daily basis, but also in our life a little bit. So please, let's read here from 2 Corinthians, beginning with chapter 12. We do not dare to classify or compare ourselves with some who commend themselves. When they measure themselves by themselves and compare themselves with themselves, they are not wise. Verse 13, we, however, will not boast beyond proper limits, but we will confine our boasting to the sphere of service God himself has assigned to us, a sphere that also includes you. I'm going to read that verse again because I want to get back to that during our discussion. We, however, will not boast beyond proper limits, but we will confine our boasting to the sphere of service God himself has assigned to us, a sphere that also includes you, all my listeners out there, the sphere that God has also assigned to you. We are not going too far in our boasting as would be the case if we had not come to you, for we did get as far as you with the gospel of Christ. Neither do we go beyond our limits by boasting of work done by others. Our hope is that as your faith continues to grow, our sphere of activity among you will greatly expand, so that we may preach the gospel in the regions beyond you. For we do not want to boast about work already done in someone else's territory, but let the one who boasts boast in the Lord. For it is not the one who commends himself who is approved, but the one whom the Lord commends. I think the obvious takeaway is, if you're going to boast, what should you boast about?
About God.
Yeah, absolutely. Right.
About how wonderful he is, how great and magnificent he is, our almighty God.
Yeah, and I think doesn't that speak how we can witness in our faith journey to others? That's our boasting, right? And, you know, we're always talking about our family and how much and what great things they have done, and, you know, about teams that we love and teams that we coach and teams that we've played on, and that's all good. That's all fine. But truly, we will be commended for the boasting that we do and the work that we do for God, right?
Absolutely.
Now, let's go back, though. Let's go back to the verse 13, because I think this is important. And I think this needs to speak to every one of us, because sometimes in life, isn't our journey about really trying to find out where do we fit? I mean, where do we fit? What's our role in service, right?
Right.
So here it is.
And how we can be most effective, too.
Yeah. So in Paul writing to the church at Corinth, he's saying, first of all, confine our boasting to the fear or service of God, that he has assigned to us a sphere, assignment that also comes to you. It includes each of us. And that's our journey where we're trying to find what that is, right? And I guess not only find what it is, but let's just say you're Daryl Henry, and you're the voice of the Revs, and you're the voice of your college, and you're the general manager of WOYK. Sorry to drag you into this, Daryl. Great man, great young man, great family man, great radio man. But, how can he, for example, how can we on the radio include what our love of sports is, to include how we serve, what's assigned to us? Does that make sense? How's our service assigned to us, right?
Right. And the other thing is, I know as my Pennsylvania Dutch background, we were always taught, you don't go talking about religion. You don't talk to anybody about religion. That's politics and religion are no zone when you have somebody. But to have the confidence, and I think it's going to have to be a God-given confidence, that you are able to go and talk to others about your faith and talk to others about the wonder of Jesus Christ and how he saved us. Just stepping out of maybe your comfort zone in order to witness.
Okay, let's talk about this. I'm with you. I think great point, Becky B. How else can we boast? How else can we boast about God? Obviously, it's talking, it's sharing the great news. But, we've talked to many people here on Go Long about their journey, where it's also how they handle themselves, how they interact with others. People can look at that and also say that's boasting about God as well, right? Because through prayer, through thoughtful interactions, through intentional, thoughtful, prayerful behavior, I think we can also share our love of Christ, and it can shine that others can see it as well. Do you agree?
Well, the old adage of sometimes actions speak louder than words, I think plays a big part here. You can say a lot of words, but words can be an empty gong. But
True.
Your actions are going to carry through, and others will see the way you serve and the way that you conduct yourself in difficult situations.
Yeah, and then sometimes it'll raise its head. For example, now again, this year I coached a junior boys basketball team. But just a week ago, one of the parents came up to me and said, I don't know how you kept your patience with the officials. And the officials were fine, but there were times...
They were doing their best.
Yeah, there are times when you think a call should go the other way, right? But that was my opportunity. That was through an action that I had, and I'm not boasting. Now this is being contradictory so it's not boasting. I'm just using an example as an opportunity then to say, that's just my faith shining through. That's simple, right? So I think there's many ways to boast, and we have opportunities then that's created through our behavior, through our words, through our prayerful interactions with others. And I think what we have to pray for then is that we're able to capture whether that's second or those words, right? Does that make sense?
It does. And even pray for, God to help to guide your actions. I know sometimes in the heat of the moment we just want to let somebody know exactly how we feel, and rather than do that, to bite our tongue and to treat them with the love and grace.
True. Yeah, we're all able to do that. Absolutely. So let's just back up here again and thoughtfully, prayerfully think how this 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verses 12 through 18 speaks to you this morning here on Go Long. We do not dare to classify or compare ourselves with some who commend themselves when they measure themselves by themselves and compare themselves with themselves. I'm going to paraphrase. Guess what? They're not wise. We, however, as a Christian body, will not boast beyond proper limits, but we're going to confine our boasting to the fear of service God himself has assigned to us, and he has, in effect, assigned it to each of us. A sphere, yes, my friends, a sphere has been assigned to you It has been assigned to you. God and each one of us has assigned to us what that sphere will be of service. And I know we're searching for it in many cases. And I'd ask that we prayerfully consider that today, that we find what that sphere has been assigned to us to include us. We are not going too far in our boasting, as would be the case if we had not come to you. For we did get as far as you with the gospel of Christ. That's how we got as far as we did, right? That's where our power comes from. Through the gospel of Christ, through reading of the word of the Bible, right? Through sharing it. That's where it comes from, right?
Absolutely.
And I would add through prayer as well. Neither do we go beyond our limits by boasting of the work of others. Don't go beyond the limits. It doesn't say it's bad, but just don't go beyond the limits. Our hope is that as your faith continues to grow, and it's a journey for all of us, my friends. It's a faith journey that I hope to continue to grow in my life, that I hope it will continue to grow, and I pray in your life. Our sphere of activity among you will greatly expand so that we can preach, we can share the gospel in the regions beyond you. For we do not want to boast about work already done in someone else's territory, but let the one who boasts boast about the Lord, in the Lord. Please, if you want to boast about the Lord, for it is not the one who commends himself who's approved, but the one whom the Lord commends. So, dear Heavenly Father, we pray not only for you to boast and get the opportunity to share your faith with others, but also that through thoughtful and prayerness you get that opportunity by understanding the sphere that has been assigned to you. What has been assigned to you of service to our Lord. Becky B., your thoughts?
And that when God gives you those opportunities, that you step up and with grace and with compassion share those share the message of Jesus with others.
Alrighty, friends, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we got the splendid Spartan himself, Scott Geis, here on Go Long.
Hey, WOIK listeners, Daryl Henry here with Kelsey McCullough, Kylie Taylor, the owners of Red Barn Home Decors. Kelsey, tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing.
So Kylie and I bring in our furniture and decor to either a vacant or occupied home, and we allow buyers to create emotional connections with the home by envisioning their family in that space. Doing that allows the buyer to get top dollar for their listing and also sell it in the fastest amount of time.
Kylie, tell us about the benefits of Red Barn in particular.
Home staging is very important in the selling process. It really makes sure that your home sells in the quickest amount of time and for the top dollar. Some of our statistics here are homes sell in an average of 4.5 days and for over 16,000 over asking.
Kelsey, how would folks get in touch with Red Barn?
Please feel free to check out our portfolio at www.redbarnhomedecors.com. You can also check out our social media pages at Red Barn Home Decors or give us a call at 717-818-1207.
Red Barn Home Decors. Staging makes dollars and cents.
When you have talent like this, you know we're gonna brag about it. From Colin Cowherd, Dan Patrick, Doug Gottlieb, LeVar Arrington, Brady Quinn, Jonas Knox, Ben Maller, Rob Parker, Chris Broussard.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Jason Smith, RJ Bell, and Mike Carmen.
There's gonna be some saltiness about that.
This is more than a lineup. This is the lineup. They live right here on Fox Sports Radio.
It's a new era of York Revolution baseball.
So it is my pleasure to introduce the new field manager of the York Revolution, Rick Forty.
The Rick Forty era begins in 2023.
I'm really excited about this opportunity.
A new season, new manager, and new blood with championship aspirations. Who will be the next stars? The next fan favorites? Find out here first. Rev's Hot Stove Weekly, presented by Shipley Energy. Mondays at 6 on Sports Radio 98.9 and 1350 WOYK.
This is The Herd.
Attention listeners.
With Colin Cowherd.
Favre and Aaron Rodgers are not the same person, but they're becoming the same Green Bay quarterback. You've seen those commercials, those Progressive insurance commercials where you start becoming your parents. They're actually very, very funny. Aaron's becoming Favre, whether he wants to be it or not. He's getting kind of rigid. He doesn't want to change certain things. Favre got very rigid. I don't want to learn a new offense. Aaron's like, I want Randall Cobb and my 70-year-old quarterback coach. They're becoming the same guy. And I've always called this the Green Bay Packer quarterback syndrome. In Green Bay, the quarterback runs the franchise. If Aaron keeps mentioning, I don't know if I'm going to play, the team that gets him doesn't have to give up many picks. Because Aaron's not going to go play for a crappy team. He'll just retire. Tennessee's the team I put out there.
This is The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
Wow.
Weekdays at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. And now, the Dan Patrick Show.
Dan Patrick.
This is always tricky when you have to change your viewing patterns of finding something. But going to YouTube, NFL Sunday Ticket was launched in 1994. And it was on DirecTV. This was a godsend for DirecTV. And they've had it since DirecTV's inception. But the NFL and YouTube are now partners here. The traditional media is not going to play a role moving forward. We're seeing that. Just different places with, a lot more money and needing that content there. Yes, Tom?
They do need to figure out a way, if there is technically, where you can flip from one channel to another without having to have 9 different remotes. And
yeah, you kind of can. If you have, depending on what type of streaming TV you have, you should hit the button. I don't think it's that easy. Yeah, it's kind of a pain. Yes.
The Dan Patrick Show.
Dan and the Danettes and you.
Weekdays, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific on Fox Sports Radio.
It's gonna be another epic year of high school hoops, and Sports Radio 98.9 FM and 1350 WOIK are ready for tip-off. Tune in every week for the high school basketball game of the week, presented by WellSpan Sports Medicine. Plus, go to 98.9WOIK.com for a full breakdown of the teams and the players of the York Adams League. The high school basketball game of the week, presented by WellSpan Sports Medicine. Catch all the action all season on Sports Radio 98.9 FM and 1350, online at 98.9WOIK.com, or download the new WOIK app.
Welcome back to Go Long. Remember, friends, you may text your prayer request to 717-350-8591. With me right now, as I promised, the splendid Spartan himself, Scott Geis, in his 28th year at the helm of the York College Athletic Communications. Scott, thanks very much for being with us. How about a Spartan sports spotlight in good old-fashioned way?
Sure. Let's talk. We'll start with men's basketball. Great day yesterday for the men. As they were able to go to Widener, who's the number 2 seed in the upcoming MAC tournament, and the Spartans were able to pull out a victory to get themselves in the MAC tournament. They'll be the 5th seed, which, if you think about it, if we would go back a couple weeks when we were 1-6 in the league, is a heck of an accomplishment with this team. One senior, Sean Kelly. Everybody else got a couple juniors sprinkled in there, and then 11 sophomores and freshmen on this team, and Coach Matt Hunter has them playing great. Yesterday it was a 78-64 win. The Spartans have won 7 of their last 9, and I kind of felt coming into the year that we might take a little bit of we might have a little bit of a rough beginning to the year, and we did. We had to learn some lessons in terms of closing out games and winning games. But what a great finish to the year! To finish 14-11 overall with a roster that's that young, essentially a brand new team from last year. It was great to see them go to Widener, which is a tough place to play. They're a really talented team. In fact, I personally think they're probably the best team in the league. They'll finish second to Alvernia, but really good to go in there in a great atmosphere and pick up a win. Kai Sapala with 22 points. Chris Myers with 17, Jackson Mascari 14 points, and then Tate Landis with 13. So anytime you can place, can place 4 guys in double figures, you got a pretty good chance of winning.
Well, Scott, I had a chance to watch this Spartan team play just a couple of weeks ago, and they are young. I don't know, people, if you have a chance to see this team, I guess you want to see them yet this year. They play they play a fun way of basketball. I mean, they're physical, they get after the ball, they rebound, they take care. Here's what Coach Hunter has done with this young team, I think, is he taught them that every possession counts, and you see that on the defensive end, right?
Yeah, there's no question about that. And I think one thing that stands out to me and has stood out to me from the first game I watched us play this year, they love being together. Yeah. They love playing together. And I think when you have teams like that, you have the opportunity to have special things happen. And obviously, we don't know what the team's going to look like next year. Obviously, we anticipate, a boatload of guys coming back. But you're going to add, too. There's going to be other pieces that come in. And, it's not always a guarantee that it's going to be the same every year, because it's not. But the one thing that if you watch these core guys, and you see them on the floor, and you see them on the bench, and you see them during shoot-around, how they interact with each other is awesome. And they love playing together. They love being together. You know, if you see one on campus, there's probably 2 or 3 more right there with them. And I think that is a incredibly huge part of what is going to make this team successful. And this team reminds me, and I've talked to Coach Hunter about this, when Matt Scamufo, Blade Reich, and Dalton Myers were sophomores. We had just started playing better. We went to Salisbury for the CAC semifinals, and we were winning at the end of the game, and there was a phantom foul call on Matt Scamufo on a moving screen on a play which Blade Reich scored, essentially, but they waved it off. We ended up losing in double overtime, and then they went on and just lost to Christopher Newport by, I think 2 or 3 points in the championship game. But this team reminds me a lot of that team, where it took the early part of the season to really kind of figure themselves out, and then all of a sudden, boom, things are starting to click, and you see them play together, and it's a ton of fun to watch. The way we play so hard. Yeah. We don't always play great, but I'll tell you what, we certainly play hard, and it's been a lot of fun to watch.
Scott, looking back, was the aha moment, the turnaround, was it when they beat Eastern at home, Eastern University, a team that everybody said, gosh, these guys are really good. Are we going to be able to play with them tonight? And you know what? They manhandled them. They physically beat them with the floor.
I think that was certainly part of it. I think when I think the big turnaround, not turnaround, because I hate using that word, because we were playing well. When we played Christopher Newport at home and lost 75-72 in overtime that first Saturday in January, and then we played 2 awful games in a row, like we had this hangover. It was like, it showed them how good we can be, but then we struggle to follow it up. And then we go to Hood and beat Hood, and beat Eastern in that game right after that. I think those, after the Stevenson-Widener games, when we didn't play well, to come out and to play well against Hood and then really play well against Eastern was a huge thing for us. And I think you're right. That's one of those moments where you're like, hey, guys, we can be pretty good.
Yeah.
And I think they knew that. I think they knew they could be good. I think they just I think you gotta learn how to win. I do think that's a huge part of sports is you gotta learn how to make the plays at the end of the game. And up to that point in the season, we hadn't really done that yet. So it was good to see, and really good to see when you can roll a team that at the time Eastern was in second place. So that was a really big win for us.
So this tournament, the MAC Commonwealth Tournament, Monday night already. Not a whole lot of time to get ready.
Yeah, we'll turn it around. Pretty much, Coach Hunter said in his post game with Daryl yesterday is, we'll get the guys in the training room, get them taken care of, have a scouting session some point in time today, and we'll do a shoot around tomorrow before we head to Eastern. So yeah, it's a quick turnaround. I think that's good for us. I think the more I believe in watching this team play, the more consistently we play is when we play on a regular schedule. And this is obviously a little bit of a compressed schedule, but, we had just had a bye week last week. So I think this team's in pretty good shape to be able to come out and play, 2 very physical, very difficult games in the span of 3 days. I think we're physically equipped to do it, and I think we're mentally equipped to do it.
Scott, not the kind of season that Coach Whitman has become used to, but I think they've improved throughout the year as well. And she in my mind is one of the most outstanding women's basketball coaches, not only in the MAC, but all throughout the eastern part of the United States. Not the kind of season she wanted, but they've gotten better and they play hard, and they're going to do well moving forward.
No, there's no question about that. And I think one of the big things is, sometimes. We've had years like this, and usually it precedes us having a really good recruiting class or two and getting real good real quick. I think the biggest problem this year is we didn't. Last year we had Kayla Ferris, and I don't know if we've gotten a chance to really to talk about Kayla, but last year she was the she was the great eraser or the great deodorant. You know, she could minimize our mistakes. She could make things not smell quite so bad if we didn't make a play,
Right.
Because she was able to go make a play. And not having her this year, I don't know that we really understood as a team how much we relied on her for things until she wasn't there. And, you know, I think that adjustment early on in the year, we struggled to score at times. Because a lot of times last year when the shot clock's running down, it's give the ball to Kayla, let her make a play. Well, when she's not there, that's hard to do. And, you know, I think you saw some people emerge as leaders. Obviously, Bree Zumblum had an unbelievable year. You know, she has a chance. I don't know if she will or not. I mean, she's certainly a first-team all-conference player. Maybe she might even be the player of the year because her stats are that good. You know, she led the conference in scoring. She's third in rebounding. She had an unbelievable year. And really, the way we played in conference was much better than when we played early in the year. So, yeah, it was a strange year. There are a couple times we just got in scoring ruts and just literally struggled to score so badly. But we played, you know, defensively played well all year. That's, you know, one thing that you can always do is even if you aren't scoring, you can defend. And, you know, I thought we did a pretty good job of that. And, you know, I know it was a frustrating year for Coach because she's not, you know, this is the first time in her 26 plus years that we didn't make a postseason tournament, that we didn't make a conference tournament. So for her, that's a big deal. And, you know, she takes a lot of pride in the fact that our program has had consistency and consistently been pretty good. And, you know, certainly one year back is not a setback. It happens to the best teams in college basketball. So, you know, I know that they've been hitting the recruiting trail really hard and, you know, looking for kids who are willing to come in. And, you know, I think there's going to be opportunities for some kids to play early on next year. And, you know, we'll go from there. But I think, you know, I'd be surprised if this is anything much more than a 1 year thing. And, you know, I hope not, because I love when our women's team's good. It's a lot of fun to watch.
We're speaking with the splendid Spartan himself, Scott Geis. Scott, let's go long. A couple of weeks ago, we had a chance to chat, and you shared your faith journey with us, and that included having some health issues. And I know a lot of people have, you know, come up to me and say, "Hey, how's Scott's doing? Can you give us an update on your health, and then, you know, share how your faith has helped you through some of these difficulties?"
Sure. So I had surgery on the 27th, and that was to take part of my liver out. And before anybody goes, "Oh my goodness, they took 15% of his liver out," it does grow back, so that's a good thing. The only organ that does, but and then I actually have a hepatic chemo pump for my liver, so that actually he put a new one in. So I was in the hospital, felt really good the first 2 days, and then got a really nasty infection and was in the hospital longer. So I ended up being in 11 days, which I wouldn't recommend, even though I had received unbelievable care, and it was really good. It was tough. That was a tough 11 days, and I've come home and have tried to resume normal activities. My body is like, no, you need to sleep a little bit more. So I feel like I've been doing a lot more sleeping than I would care for. I'm not somebody who just likes to sit around, but I've been able to get back into work and see basically see my Spartan family, which is really important to me. That kind of keeps me going. It gives me energy, and you know, it's been it's been tougher. This is my fourth surgery dealing with cancer. This is certainly the one that's been the most challenging, but you know, I know I have so many people behind me, and you know, to know that it's unbelievable the amount of people who come up to me and say, "Hey, we're praying for you," and that is as comforting a thing that I think you can possibly hear from somebody, because you don't tell somebody you're praying for them if you're not. Like, you just, I've never heard say, "Hey, I'm praying for you," and then most of the time people tell you that they are, and that's a very comforting thing. And to know the power in that, and to know that, you know, I'm clearly being cared for in a way that is, you know, a lot beyond my understanding sometimes. But I feel good, and I know that I'm incredibly blessed because there's a lot of people that are in my situation that have it far worse than I do. So I understand. My duty is to make sure that I go out and I live my life and I do the things that I'm supposed to be doing and care for the people that I'm supposed to be caring for. And I think that is, to me, that's the great way to pass it forward and send it on. And I have a friend of a friend who is at the beginning of her journey. So trying to help her out. Hey, this is what to look for. This is what to expect. This is what the doctors may tell you. This might scare you. There's certain things that when you hear a doctor's diagnosis can be pretty scary. But to be able to help somebody, if you've been through it, to be able to help other people go through it, their experience, and to maybe just give them a little bit of a guiding hand, I think is really important. And I know every day, every single day, how blessed I am to be on the path that I'm on. I feel really good, and I know I'm going to have an opportunity to recover. And I think that is something that I'm very grateful for. So, yeah.
Well, Scott, even 5 years ago, you probably had no idea you were going to be walking this journey. And
oh no, 100%.
Yeah, but it sounds like our verse today was about taking where God leads us and finding our spot to glorify Him and to share with others. And it sounds like you have found that spot with the way that you are sharing with others. And where do you find the strength and the will when you're on those really bad days to continue on?
That's a really good question. I think for me, one of the biggest things is understanding all the things that I want to be able to do in my life. I want to be able to, I got to see my daughter graduate from college last year. She now has a job. I'd like to see my son eventually graduate from college and do his thing. And all these, I'm again 100% blessed because I got a really good life. I have an unbelievable family. I have unbelievable friends. I don't want to go anywhere, if that makes sense. I want to be able to experience this and share with all the people that I love and care for this life. And if that's not meant to be, then it'll work out different ways. But I think that there is when I was diagnosed, I was probably in the best shape of my life. That was not an accident. There's a lot of things that have happened during this process that are clearly not an accident, right? Yeah. This has happened for a reason. We don't always understand the reason, but there is a plan behind it, and I do believe that. And if my plan is to recover fully and live a life, then I will embrace that. And if not, then so be it. But I do feel like this is an opportunity to be able to get, my wife says she's become a colonoscopy pusher. So she'll ask random people sometimes, hey, have you gotten your colonoscopy yet? Because it does save lives. All the cancer screenings have the potential to save lives. So if my experience betters one person, then, I think it was worth it. So it's just, you got to draw, and really I draw a lot of strength from the people around me. If I was forced to sit at home and just be by myself, I think I'd lose my mind. But I've been able to be able to lean on all those people who I care about, who I work with, who my friends are, my family. So I think it's just for me, I'm surrounded by it. So I don't want to say I don't have a choice, but I kind of feel like these people are supporting me. I need to be able to give my best effort moving forward to get better.
Today's lesson, as Becky B. mentioned, from 2 Corinthians chapter 10, reading from verse 15, as your faith continues to grow, and I'm going to paraphrase Scott, the sphere of activity among you is greatly expanded. And that's slightly paraphrased from the New International Version, but that's what Becky was referring to. During your faith journey, what a blessing you are to so many people, Scott, and I appreciate that. And then we will continue to pray for you, not only for your health, but also as your faith journey continues to grow, like all of ours. That's one of our missions here on Go Long, that my faith journey continues to grow, Becky B's continues to grow, that yours continue to grow, that our listeners continue to grow, and our community of sharers and lovers of Christ can grow together in that. So our prayer is that today, Scott, for your health, but also that your sphere, your people that you're reaching out to continues to grow as well as your faith grows. So thank you so much. Scott, you're a wonderful man. I'm proud to know you. I'm proud to be a friend of yours, and I don't know what else to say, but just proud of all that. And what a blessing you are.
I appreciate it, and certainly I think this is a great program, and you're doing a great job in reaching people in a different way, which I think is awesome.
Yeah. Tomorrow night, the York College men's basketball team, starting their season 1-6 in league play, are going to match up again with Eastern University in the first round of the MAC Commonwealth playoffs. My friends, you can hear it here on WOYK. Daryl Henry with the call. What time is the tip, Scott?
7 o'clock.
Alrighty, here on WOYK, Daryl Henry with the call, and I guarantee you, what a great game that is. And I don't know, I'm picking the Spartans in a hard-fought game. I saw them play Eastern before. They were more physical. They rebounded. They defended. We were worried about Eastern's pressure, a full court. But here's how you stop pressure: you rebound. If you rebound, they can't press you, right?
Or just and then you make shots.
True.
That's what makes shots.
Pretty simple, right? So I'm going to pick the Spartans by 5. Scott, how's that?
All right, I'll take it.
Alrighty, guys. Alrighty, looking to it. Hearing that game tomorrow night. Daryl Henry with the call, 7 p.m. Alrighty, friends, stay with us on Go Long. We're going to be right back after this short break.
Hey, WOYK listeners, Daryl Henry here with Kelsey McCullough, Kylie Taylor, the owners of Red Barn Home Decors. Kelsey, tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing.
So Kylie and I bring in our furniture and decor to either a vacant or occupied home, and we allow buyers to create emotional connections with the home by envisioning their family in that space. Doing that allows the buyer to get top dollar for their listing and also sell it in the fastest amount of time.
Kylie, tell us about the benefits of Red Barn in particular.
Home staging is very important in the selling process. It really makes sure that your home sells in the quickest amount of time and for the top dollar. Some of our statistics here are homes sell in an average of 4.5 days and for over 16,000 over asking.
Kelsey, how would folks get in touch with Red Barn?
Please feel free to check out our portfolio at www.redbarnhomedecors.com. You can also check out our social media pages at Red Barn Home Decors or give us a call at 717-818-1207.
Red Barn Home Decors. Staging makes dollars and cents.
When you have talent like this, we're gonna brag about it. From Colin Cowherd, Dan Patrick, Doug Gottlieb, LeVar Arrington, Brady Quinn, Jonas Knox, Ben Maller, Rob Parker, Chris Broussard.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Jason Smith, RJ Bell, and Mike Carmen.
There's going to be some saltiness about that.
This is more than a lineup. This is the lineup. They live right here on Fox Sports Radio.
It's a new era of York Revolution baseball.
So it is my pleasure to introduce the new field manager of the York Revolution, Rick Forty.
The Rick Forty era begins in 2023.
I'm really excited about this opportunity.
A new season, new manager, and new blood with championship aspirations. Who will be the next stars? The next fan favorites? Find out here first. Rev's Hot Stove Weekly, presented by Shipley Energy. Mondays at 6 on Sports Radio 98.9 and 1350 WOYK.
This is The Herd.
Attention listeners.
With Colin Cowherd.
Favre and Aaron Rodgers are not the same person, but they're becoming the same Green Bay quarterback. You've seen those commercials, those Progressive insurance commercials where, you start becoming your parents. They're actually very, very funny. Aaron's becoming Favre, whether he wants to be it or not. He's getting kind of rigid. He doesn't want to change certain things. Favre got very rigid. I don't want to learn a new offense. Aaron's like, I want Randall Cobb and my 70-year-old quarterback coach. They're becoming the same guy. And I've always called this the Green Bay Packer quarterback syndrome. In Green Bay, the quarterback runs the franchise. If Aaron keeps mentioning, I don't know if I'm going to play, the team that gets him doesn't have to give up many picks. Because Aaron's not going to go play for a crappy team. He'll just retire. Tennessee's the team I put out there.
This is The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Wow. Weekdays at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. And now, the Dan Patrick Show.
Dan Patrick.
This is always tricky when you have to change your viewing patterns of finding something. But going to YouTube, NFL Sunday Ticket was launched in 1994. And it was on DirecTV. This was a godsend for DirecTV. And they've had it since DirecTV's inception. But the NFL and YouTube are now partners here. The traditional media is not going to play a role moving forward. We're seeing that. Just different places with, a lot more money and needing that content there. Yes, Todd?
They do need to figure out a way, if there is technically, where you can flip from one channel to another without having to have 9 different remotes and...
Yeah, you kind of can. If you have, depending on what type of streaming TV you have, you should hit
I don't think it's that easy.
Yeah, it's kind of a pain.
Yep.
The Dan Patrick Show.
Dan and the Danettes and you.
Weekdays 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific on Fox Sports Radio.
It's gonna be another epic year of high school hoops, and Sports Radio 98.9 FM and 1350 WOIK are ready for tip-off. Tune in every week for the high school basketball game of the week, presented by WellSpan Sports Medicine. Plus, go to 98.9WOIK.com for a full breakdown of the teams and the players of the York Adams League. The high school basketball game of the week, presented by WellSpan Sports Medicine. Catch all the action all season on Sports Radio 98.9 FM and 1350, online at 98.9WOIK.com, or download the new WOIK app.
Welcome back to Go Long. I'm Wayne McCullough. With me is Becky B, and now we have head coach Kevin Glover, the York High girls basketball team. What a great season they've had. They're 8th seed in District 3, 6A. Becky B, take it over.
Okay, with us here, Coach Glover, the coach of William Penn. They are 16-6 overall, and they are ranked 8th in the district playoffs. They are going to be hitting Cedar Crest tomorrow evening at William Penn High School at 7 o'clock is the tip-off. Tickets are $6. You can find them on the website or also at the door. Coach Glover, tell us a little bit about your team, please.
First, good morning. I want to thank you guys, for the opportunity and having me. Definitely appreciate it.
We're glad you're here.
Yes. Thank you. As far as the team, I cannot express the excitement and the dedication that these girls have put in. It's my 5th season. We've started out in a rocky spot. The season before I took over the program, it was a winless season. I think the year prior to that, they won 2 or 3 games. So first year, we won 1 game. Second year, we won 3. Third year was a shortened year. We won 6. And last year we won 9 games. So now to just see everything kind of come full circle, and we still have a lot of work to do. And the girls, they are setting goals, and but I just can't say enough of how proud I am of this group.
Tell us a little bit about your basic core values, Coach Glover. When you are coaching, what are the emphasis to get your team on this building season? Well, actually, I'd say it's a breakout season. You've built the last 5 years. What are you doing?
Really just commitment. Commitment to each other, playing unselfish, being there for each other. The biggest thing that we preach is accountability, and I always tell the team, not just within themselves. I don't put myself over them either. I hold myself accountable. I take ownership. When I'm doing wrong or things I could be doing better, and just so they can see that coming from me, and it's not just an atmosphere of where it's always the players doing wrong and the coach is perfect, and I just tell them adversity. We have to learn how to deal and handle adversity, and I think that's the biggest thing that has really helped us out. Just that team accountability. The girls, they bought in.
Coach, tell us a little bit about your team. Sierra Gibbs leads your team 14.5 points a game, but you're not a team that's built on 1 or 2 players. You're a well-rounded team, right?
Yes. She absolutely does lead us in scoring. Also giving us just a tad bit under 9 rebounds a game as well. It's like Kara McGee, who is also a junior guard. She gives us about 9 a game. Sophomore guard Jada Price gives us about 7.5 a game. But there's this is the deepest rotation that I've had, and the first priority that the girls know is you got to defend. If we play defense, so it doesn't matter who's going into the game, everybody has a commitment to playing defense, and I think that's one of the biggest things that helped us out. I mean, just two seasons ago, we were giving up almost 60 points a game. Right now, I think we're like tied at 5th in the league, giving up like 36, a little over 36 a game, which is a huge turnaround. And I tell the girls, anytime we can keep teams, to that 30 to 40, we'll give ourselves a shot. We'll give ourselves a shot. But definitely, Shia Smith, who's another guard who absolutely, I have not seen a moment where this kid doesn't play hard. So she just gives her all. And like I said, just there's multiple players that they come in. I have 2 freshmen that have logged heavy minutes. Even started some games as well in our lineup. Another post player, Isaiah Kirkland. I have not seen a kid with the upside that she has in a long time. Rim protector, just the team, just all in all, the great kids, just very great kids. I'm very proud of these young ladies.
Coach, as you looked forward to district play, I think, and I've been around the York Adams League for 30 plus years, this may be top to bottom the best basketball from Division I in the girls' league. I mean, you talk about historic teams like Red Line, Coach Don Dimhoff and their pressure. Now you got Coach Jay Rexroth, who's moved over from the boys into the girls' team. I mean, there's nobody that prepares like Coach Rexroth. And they defend in the half court. And you got Jess Weaver's done a great job at York Suburban. They'll mix up a little bit of different things out there. But you got to prepare every night out, and that's got to help you play in the districts, right?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, in our division, I mean, obviously our league is, and prior to the season, there was you listen to things, and there was a lot of talk about our league being down this year. I think our league is very well represented in District B playoffs. Very, very well represented in District B playoffs. I mean, there's good players in our league, but there's a lot of good coaching in our league. Like you said, in our division, in Division I, man, we started out first three division games of the season, with Dallas Town, Red Line, and Central. It's like there's you don't have that time for sleepwalking.
Right.
You don't have that time to sleepwalking through games, and you gotta. And I always told the girls all season, like, this is what the season about. Next game mentality. We got to have the next game mentality because, like you said, you're going to see you're going to see Dimhoff. Next game, you're going to see Rex. Rex always going to have his team prepared. We know that. So definitely, even like, I love it as a coach because going against these guys and the experience that they have and, how they prepare, and it's also made me a better coach. I know the work that I have to put in as a coach to continue to not only help my team improve, but, just to continue improving myself.
So York will match up tomorrow night with Cedar Crest at York. And what do you know about Cedar Crest? Obviously, you get in the district play, everybody's good.
Oh, yes, and that's one thing I continue to stress over, since we kind of figured out it was going to be out of either them or Ephrata that we would match up with, and once it, kind of became final, we just been prepping, but Cedar Crest, those kids play extremely hard. They play extremely hard. They have a nice freshman post on the inside who's about 6'1", and a solid frame kid that, we're going to have to give some attention to. So I'm interested to see how her and Sierra battle it out. They have a very good shooter on the outside as well, and some scrappy guard play. They have some scrappy guard play. So again, we're just excited. Looking to pack the house tomorrow. I'm sure that place will be rocking. We have an opportunity to go out and win a district game, which has not been done in our girls program in a long time, a very long time. The last time our girls program made districts was that was the last year when it was 4 classifications in 2016, and they lost a playing game to Palmyra. So we have an opportunity to win. We have an opportunity to win a district game. Like I said, it's been well over 20 years.
Well, Coach, I'd celebrate you today as coach of the York High Bearcats, Kevin Glover. Your leadership has been tremendous, and you've built this program over the last 5 years, and I wish you the best tomorrow night as you open up district play. Coach, let's go long. Tell us a little bit about your faith journey, if you don't mind sharing with us.
Just born and raised, in the church. Family is a very church-going family. My 2 church homes were Shiloh Baptist and Cornerstone Baptist Church. But, it was just passed down. And I think, my grandmother, she's the rock. She's the rock of the family. And, it's just that love, just that love. And, you look forward to services. I haven't been, attending church as much lately as I would like to, but every so often I still I get online and catch the services online, but yeah, just the whole family.
Well, Coach, today we kind of looked at how God puts us in a role and, uses the roles that we're put in to share with others. Tell us a little bit how, it doesn't have to be through words. It can be through demeanor and actions and so forth. Tell us a little bit how you see yourself doing that with your team.
I think the leadership. I think the leadership is big. From myself, I don't want to lead them, astray. I want to make sure that I'm leading them not only on the court, we appreciate a huge emphasis on trying to be great in the classroom as well, and also in how we display ourselves with our character and the way that we play. We show good sportsmanship, and I think that's just, that's something that I preach to the kids. And like I said, they bought in different areas. And the winning is just a byproduct of doing things the right way.
Absolutely. Coach Kevin Glover, York High Girls Bearcats. Coach, district play tomorrow night. Well done. Great job. You're a wonderful man. I hear so many great things about you. Thanks for your Christian leadership and all you do for all of those young ladies at York High and the entire York community and the entire Central PA. Coach Kevin Glover, thank you, sir. You're a good man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Alrighty. All right, Becky B., as we close out today and go along, would you please lead us in prayer?
I will. Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this time that we can get together and celebrate this amazing world that you've given us. We just praise you, and we just thank you for giving us the grace and giving us the opportunities that we have in this life. Please lead us to the work that we should do. Help us to find our area in the world where we can take root and we can share your love and your grace with others as we go through life. We just ask you, Lord, to continue your blessings on Scott and continue your blessings on the way he is reaching out to others who are following in his same journey and giving them the hope and giving them, understanding about the journey of sickness that they're going through, but also that you are there and that you can be there to heal them, dear Lord.
And dear Heavenly Father, as we close today, we pray that as Paul spoke and prayed for the young Christians in the Church of Corinth, that all of us have our sphere of activity as our faith grows, continue to expand as well as we are able to share with others in Christ. In Christ's name, we pray. Amen. So, my friends, thank you to Kelsey Jean and Collie Jane from Red Barn Home Decors, where staging makes dollars and cents. For Sports Radio 98.9 FM, 1350 AM WOYK, first in York, first in sports. This is Dr. Wayne McCullough and Becky B. saying, go long.